Once upon a time, in a bustling city full of narrow streets, colorful markets, and the smell of spices in the air, there lived a young man named Aladdin. He was poor, very poor, and lived with his mother in a small, crumbling house on the edge of the city. Aladdin was clever, curious, and kind-hearted, but life had not been easy for him. Every day, he wandered the streets, helping anyone he could and searching for small ways to earn a little money to feed himself and his mother. Despite his hardships, Aladdin had a spark inside him, a hope that one day his life would change. He dreamed of adventure, of seeing the world beyond the crowded streets, and of living a life free from hunger and worry. But every day felt the same. He would wake, help at the market, run small errands, and return home to a quiet dinner with his mother. One day, as Aladdin wandered through the marketplace, a mysterious man approached him. He was tall, dressed in flowing robes that shimmered in the sun, and his eyes glinted with a secret knowledge. "Young man," he said, his voice smooth and commanding, "I have a task for you. A simple task, and it will reward you greatly." Aladdin, always curious, stopped and listened. "What task?" he asked cautiously. The man smiled. "There is a cave, deep in the mountains beyond the city. Inside, there is a lamp, a very special lamp. You must retrieve it for me. If you succeed, I will make sure you are rewarded beyond your dreams." Aladdin was hesitant. The mountains were dangerous, and he had never ventured so far from the city. But the promise of reward was tempting, and a sense of adventure stirred inside him. "I will do it," he said finally, "but how will I find this cave?" The man handed him a small ring, golden and gleaming. "This ring will protect you from danger," he said. "Trust it. You will find the cave easily if you follow my directions." Aladdin set out immediately. He climbed rocky paths, crossed small rivers, and wandered through forests, guided by the strange instructions the man had given him. After hours of walking, he finally found a narrow opening in the side of a mountain. It was dark, mysterious, and silent. Aladdin's heart pounded with both fear and excitement. He remembered the man's words, "Enter the cave and find the lamp. Take it, and you will be rewarded." He stepped inside, and immediately the cave seemed alive. The walls shimmered faintly, and shadows danced across the stone. Aladdin moved carefully, his eyes scanning the dark corners. Then he saw a lamp, old and dusty, sitting on a stone pedestal. Its surface was covered in scratches, but it seemed to glow softly, as if it were waiting for him. Aladdin reached out and grabbed it, feeling a strange warmth in his hands. But suddenly, the cave shook. Rocks tumbled from the ceiling, and a deep, rumbling voice filled the chamber. "Who dares to take my treasure?" it bellowed. Aladdin froze. He remembered the ring in his pocket and clutched it tightly. Then, to his surprise, the cave did not collapse. Instead, a hidden path opened, and Aladdin ran as fast as he could, carrying the lamp carefully. He barely noticed the sweat on his face or the pounding of his heart. When he finally emerged into the sunlight, he gasped for air and looked at the lamp in his hands. It was heavier than it seemed, but also magical. He returned to the city, curious and excited. The man who had sent him, however, revealed his true intentions. "Give me the lamp," he demanded, "and you will be rewarded." Aladdin, sensing danger, held the lamp close. He had a feeling something extraordinary lived inside it, something that could not be trusted to a stranger. "No," he said firmly, "this lamp belongs to me." The man's face darkened, and he tried to grab it, but Aladdin escaped, running through the streets with his heart racing. At home, he examined the lamp carefully. It looked ordinary, but when he rubbed it absent-mindedly, something unbelievable happened. A swirl of smoke filled the room, and before Aladdin's eyes, a massive figure appeared. It was a genie, enormous and glowing, with a voice that shook the walls. "I am the genie of the lamp," it boomed, "and I will grant you 3 wishes." Aladdin stumbled back, his mouth open in disbelief. He had heard stories of magic and genies, but never imagined he would meet one himself. "3 wishes," he whispered. "Anything I want." "Yes," the genie said, "anything you desire." Aladdin thought carefully. He could wish for wealth, power, or fame, but he also thought of his mother, who struggled every day to keep their home and provide food. "I wish for a house for my mother," he said finally. Instantly, the genie snapped his fingers, and a beautiful house appeared. It was not just grandite, was warm, inviting, and full of comfort. Aladdin's mother was overjoyed and cried tears of happiness. For his second wish, Aladdin thought of himself. He had always dreamed of adventure, of exploring the world beyond the city. "I wish to travel and see the world," he said. In an instant, he was whisked away to distant lands, riding on the back of the genie through deserts, oceans, and forests. He saw wonders he had only imagined, from golden palaces to bustling marketplaces filled with exotic spices and treasures. But it was his third wish that would change everything. In the city, there was a princess, beautiful, kind, and wise. Aladdin had admired her from afar, and now, with the genie's power, he wanted to win her heart. "I wish to be worthy of the princess's love," he said. The genie nodded, and with a wave of magic, Aladdin became confident, resourceful, and respected by all. He returned to the city and met the princess, who was intrigued by his charm, kindness, and bravery. Over time, they fell in love, and the city celebrated their union. Aladdin's life had changed completely, from a poor, struggling boy to a wealthy, respected man with adventures behind him and love in his heart. But Aladdin never forgot the lessons he had learned. The magic of the lamp was powerful, yes, but it was his courage, his kindness, and his cleverness that truly shaped his destiny. He understood that wealth and power were not enough. They were only meaningful when used wisely, to help others, to protect those you love, and to bring joy not just to yourself, but to everyone around you. The lamp remained with him always, a reminder of the extraordinary adventure that had changed his life. He never wished for greed or selfish gain. Instead, he used its magic to help the poor, to bring peace to those in trouble, and to continue exploring the wonders of the world with the princess by his side. As years passed, Aladdin became a legend, not just for the magic he possessed, but for the wisdom he showed in using it. People spoke of the boy who had found a magical lamp and learned that true happiness comes not from riches alone, but from courage, love, and generosity. And so, Aladdin's story teaches us that even in the darkest times, when life seems unfair and full of hardship, courage, cleverness, and kindness can open doors to worlds we never imagined. Sometimes, magic appears in the most unexpected forms, not just in lamps or genies, but in the choices we make, the risks we take, and the love we share with others. Aladdin's life was never the same again, and he understood, at last, that the greatest magic was not in the